Maybe you took it from somewhere and brought it for my happiness, the man said while he was panting. What are you talking about? Am I out of my mind? It is impossible for me to do this. And he said, if the parents of this child is found, we will return her to them, and if not, we will keep her with us, and until then, he will be a blessing to us and will save us from loneliness. The woman, who was relieved, shook her head as a sign of satisfaction and hugged and kissed the child with happy tears, and she kissed her and then hugged her husband and turned to the sky and thanked the merciful God. It was then that the life of the woodcutter and his wife became sweeter and sweeter day by day, and they were used to her and she became a member of their family, and she grew up day by day. They watched her walk and talk until she reached the age where she should go to school and read and write. The woodcutter woman dressed the little girl in an old dress that she had sewn under the moonlight the night before and kissed her and took her to the school and handed her over to her teacher. The teacher took her hand and entered the class and introduced her to her classmates. Her classmates, who were more of the nobles of the city, objected to her clothes and started making fun of her. The girl was sad and sat at the end of the class. Arrogant girls pointed at her with emoticons and throwing paper and harassed her. The days passed like this, and every day they gave her into trouble. One day with her clothes full of mud, and sometimes she was covered in mud, and sometimes she was in a bloody situation, and sometimes by tearing her clothes. In addition to their pride and arrogance, they also envied her beauty, sobriety and cleverness, because she was the most beautiful and smartest girl in the school. Until one day when she was walking home from school, some vagrants who were mostly youths surrounded her and started harassing her and wanted to assault her, and she was shouting and begging them to stop and don't hurt her. She was shouting and asking for help from others, and at that moment, a troop of the court guard was passing by when they heard the girl's voice and brought it to the son of the ruler of the city, who was in a carriage. He immediately ordered the carriage to stop and ran towards the vagrants and drew its sword and attacked them with a shout. At this moment, when the vagrants saw the situation was deteriorating, they each fled to the side. As soon as he saw the beautiful girl, his eyes sparkled and his heart seemed to stop. He took her in his arms and took her into the carriage and asked the people where her house was. One of them has seen the girl in the city square with her father selling firewood. He gave them the address of the hut. The ruler's son went there with his soldiers. He saw a wooden hut that was located next to the forest and realized that they were a poor family, so he went to the door of the house and knocked on the door a few times and asked for permission to enter. The woodcutter's wife opened the door, and her eyes fell on a beautiful young man. Her tongue stuttered, and she said, "Tell me, my lord, you must be one of the nobles of the city." And as soon as she saw her daughter falling in the boy's arms, who was unconscious and dirty, she screamed and said what happened to her. The boy told her everything that had happened, and the woodcutter's wife, after understanding the story, thanked the boy very much and asked him to stay there for dinner. The son of the ruler said that I have a lot of work and I will definitely come to see you again and visit you and your daughter to see if she is well.